Shalawam, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWASHI, Bashem Kakwadash, double one to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to Lek out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. All right, I want to get into a quick topic pertaining to the scriptures here in Ezekiel, the 31st chapter. And, the average churchgoer, they may know scripture as far as the Bible and, just certain basic passages and, your common lovely quotes of the Bible that people like to speak of, but when it comes to the mysteries and the understandings of the Bible, we know that ultimately they have no knowledge. As it gets into in Romans 10:1-3, I bear them record having a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So I just wanted to get into some of all these scriptures and just the authority overall that we have, the superiority, might I say, that we have over all other nations that was endowed unto us from YAHAWASHI. But matter of fact, before I start off here, let me go to it's Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any people, fewest of all people, but because the Lord loved you, and because he will keep the oath which he sware unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So the Lord clearly stated that he made us a special and a holy people unto himself, above all other people upon the face of the earth. Therefore, that shows the superiority automatically in which we have. But yet, why are we in this lower state? Of course, we know because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. But the Lord is going to bring us back unto that state in which we once were. Even within the current times, we can still see that superiority of Jake, in today's time, by way of how Esau and all these other nations gravitate towards us, even though our people have, ultimately, we are the leaders, man, because we set the trends within the society and the models in which people follow, right? So to get into this, it's Ezekiel 31, and I'm gonna start at behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches and with a shadowing shroud of an high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. So this is a representation, okay, of Adam, okay, and his lineage, all right, because the Lord compared men to trees and things like that throughout the scriptures, and the Lord compared men to many things, to make those similes and things like that, Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches and with the shadowing shroud of a high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. The waters made him great, and we know what the waters is, what the knowledge, okay? The waters made him great. The deep set him up on high, and her rivers running about his plants. If he's the tree, then he has plants. That's the offspring, okay? Just as we getting into with the fair branches and everything, okay? All right, and sent out her little river of the trees of the field. So all the trees of the field, that's the other nations, okay? That's the people of the other nations, all the trees of the other field. All right. Verse 5, therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth. So this is still all getting into the fact of, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding imparted unto Adam through his lineage unto us as being Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans unto this day. And as I said, we can see it in society because look at all of the great things that Jake have invented here in America. America couldn't have been built without us. People like Benjamin Banneker that did, a lot of astrology for things and helped set up the blueprint for Washington, D.C. and, us dealing with the electrical system and all different type of things, man, And even in today's time, who made the algorithms for a lot of these topics, out here that's making millions of dollars, or billions of dollars, if you will, off of these new services like Uber and Lyft and all that. It was a Jake that did that, man. Jake created the algorithms. Okay, I forget the Jake's name, but I seen him somewhere on social media one day, and that was praising him, for everything that he did. Okay, but at the end of the day, what Jake don't get the credit for that, the other companies did. You take it to the fashion, you could take it to the music. Everything in which we do, we are the top notch at it. With the sports, everything we do, we are top notch at it, period. Right? Verse, all the fowls of heaven made their nest in his bowls. What the other nations wanted to come get down with us. Okay? They want to be up under us. But now Jake want to be so much like the other nations to be up under them. It's ridiculous, man. And under his all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwelt all great nations. So now it's getting more to what under his shadow dwelt all great nations. So it's letting you know that it's not just talking about trees and all that, but actual man and his lineage and his children, And it said what? All the beasts of the field. And we know, according to matter of fact, let me get it. Couple of them. Was it Psalms? Was it Proverbs? Let me get the one Ecclesiastes. Come on with this, man. Ecclesiastes 3:18, it says, I said in my concerning the estate of the sons of men, meaning what the other nations, that the Most High might manifest them, that they might see that they themselves are beasts. Okay? For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Thing befalleth them, as the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they all have one breath, so that a man have no preeminence above a beast for all its vanity. So these other nations are being like beasts. And why primarily beasts? Because of their lawlessness, their no need for laws, not having the aptitude, if you will, for the law statutes. Right. Okay, so the Lord called them beasts. They don't have the righteous laws in which we have to actually govern themselves. They willing to eat anything, man. We see that within this time, right? Thus was he fair in his greatness and in the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters. So what? Adam being rooted by the Most High, and the lineage going through, it all showed forth that greatness. That's what made all the other nations want to come get up under us, just like with King Solomon, and how all different and people would come to Solomon for his great wisdom and his knowledge, man. It's the same example that shows forth in Solomon being the wisest man that ever walked upon the face of the earth. That shows forth the superiority. Okay, period. For a Jake, King Solomon, which we know, reincarnation, YAHAWASHI, the wisest man that ever walked the face upon the earth. That has to show something. That has to show a significance than just him just being a smart man, okay? Of which the average person would think. No, that shows the spiritual significance of these scriptures of how we are superior towards these other nations in every aspect. Period. They just have the upper hand now because the Most High have shown them favor for the time being to be the whipping stick unto us. All right. Verse 8, it says, the cedars in the garden of the Most High cannot hide them, were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of the Most High was like unto him in his beauty. Right? So when they talk about the cedars of in the Most High cannot hide them, that's in reference towards when when Adam trespassed. Okay, when he trespassed, and him and Eve, they try to sew and cover themselves with aprons because they recognized that they were naked. But what the other nations, he couldn't hide amongst them. He couldn't hide amongst them because he would always stand out. If you're somebody that's special, you always going to stand out in the crowd. You always the crowd because what people are going to flock to you. They're going to be drawn towards your energy. Okay, so they couldn't hide him. All right, because the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High imparted unto us was far than anything that the other nations could ever dreamed of, man. That's what beautified him. That's what beautifies us as a people. Our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding which comes from the Most High. Because the knowledge from the Most High helps us to the whole world in its entirety, as it should be, and to help things spring forth more beautifully than it ever possibly could, in which ways the other nations don't practice. Everything of the laws is for our benefit, the benefit of the earth, for the earth to be sustained, because we are the keepers or the guardians of the earth. You know how they have like the movie Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, we are the guardians of the galaxy. I mean, right now, we the guardians of earth. The power comes into play, back into play. But overall, what we gonna be guardians of the galaxy, man? Period. I hate this thing. Verse 9. I have made him fair by his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him. Why? Because if you showing some superiority over others, eventually, I say, damn, I can't think of it. Familiarity breeds contempt. So if you see somebody so far greater than you and you wish to get up to their speed or their level and you can't, most times people wind up hating, wind up being envious. Verse 10, therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height and hast shot up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up in his height. I have given him into the hand of the mighty one of the heathen. He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out for his wickedness. Okay. And strangers, the terrible of the nations, have left him. All right. Upon the mountains and in the valleys, his branches are fallen and his boughs are broken by all the rivers of the land, and all the people of the earth have gone down from his shadow and have left him. So this clearly shows the greatness of one people, right? Them being brought down, and now all their glory being gone. Because when we look at it, right, in the book of Lamentations, it's Lamentations 2:15. All that pass by their hand, clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it. So all the other nations, they have been left under our shadow. They have been left under our shadow, being at the fact that we're not as great as we used to be. But that shadow still lingers a bit because they can't help but to gravitate towards the energy in which we have as a people. Not as far as wanting to live around us and things like that, because they see how Jake, is just underneath the curses, but ultimately our style, you know what I'm saying, what we bring to the table, what we bring to the earth, because wherever we go flows. We have poverty everywhere amongst Jake, but ultimately wherever we go, riches flow as far as what that richness of spirit, okay, because the colorfulness that we could bring out of situation, and Jake know how to make a bad situation look good or look better than what it actually is, man, because that's the spirit in which we have, so sooner or later, and we know that it's more sooner than later, the Lord is going to bring that point where the other nations, they're going to be begging to 100% be up under our shadow once again, so Jake has a superiority, of no other, man, back into that state, and Lord willing, that time is near and dear upon us, so with that, I hope this segment was edifying, and I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, the Bawanas, to the apostles and the elders of great SHALAWAM to the elect out there doing this work of faith and labor with love and true sincerity. SHALAWAM.